This conference will now be recorded.
So, what you have did? Did you practice it?
Yeah, you said to go through AOP Spring Boot, so I have practiced that. And
Okay,
I'm also studying for Java certification.
okay. Fine, ma. So, AOP you went through, right?
Yeah, AOP I went through.
So, what is advice, ma?
Advice, it's actually advice. It's actually represent an action that an expert take at a particular join point.
Okay,
There are different types of advices: before, after, returning advice, after throwing advice, around advice.
okay. Next, why we will be using this AOP? Could you please tell me one scenario?
Uh, See, like if there is a logging method, right? मतलब, uh, if there is a like a logging method, then every and you have declared in one single class, but you still every class have to call that method, right? So instead of calling method again and again, write an we can write an expect, and
Okay,
through which there's a concern, right, which is applicable throughout the application, and which we can write in an in expect. So it also reduces the point code and boilerplate code, and instead of writing and calling a function or method again and again, we can write it in an expect, and it will, and according to what condition you have written in join point as a join pointer advices, it will call accordingly.
okay. How many types of AOPs are available, ma?
How many times? Oh, 1 second. Yeah. I think it's two type, right? It's a Spring AOP and then expect J, right?
Totally three types are there, ma.
Okay.
Respect J, Spring AOP, and JBoss AOP.
J was, yeah. Okay.
Fine, right?
Okay. Ah,
Next. Could you please tell me what is meant by AOP proxy?
hello.
Yeah, what is AOP proxy, ma?
Yeah, so that I have to ask. I studied, but I didn't get too much context, like why it is used in both. That I have to ask. That I've written in my doubt.
Which one? Proxy.
Proxy and Weaver also. Some
Okay.
weaving method there, right? I didn't
Correct,
get.
correct. Hmm. Basically, AOP proxy, if you want, you can make a note.
Yeah, I'm noting. And so one more thing I have to ask. Every recording will be available in your YouTube channel, right?
Yes, ma.
Okay. 1 second, write it. Huh.
Hmm. This one, AOP proxy. A proxy is a well-designed design pattern
Okay.
which is meant to put like an object that displays like as another object. Okay, no?
Hello?
Yeah, that displays like an another object, ma. Got my point, right?
Yeah.
Basically, if you need to display anything like another object, you can take the help of this particular proxy, ma. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, how AOP uses this pattern?
AOP basically, whenever if you want a duplicate object, usually we won't be using duplicate objects, ma. Most of the projects, we'll use a direct object only. Got my point, right?
Yeah. Duplicate object means?
Duplicate object in the sense, let's say a logger object is there, ma.
Okay.
Logger object, if you want one more copy to be shared within the application, then we have to take the help of duplicate object. Most of the programmers, what they are doing, instead of going for duplicate object, same object they are sharing, ma, throughout the application.
Okay.
Got my point, right?
Hmm.
Where to avoid this particular memory wastage and to enable the reusability, single object only they are proceeding with this, because of which performance also will be increased. So proxies very less we will be using. It is not like frequently used concept. Okay, right? Hello.
Yeah, sir.
Hmm. And you can use this CG lib, ma.
CGlib. You have.
Yeah.
Uh,
Actually,
one second.
CG lib is used as a default business object, ma.
Okay. One
So
second.
because of this proxies and all, you can consider less used concepts. Got my point, right? Yes or no?
Yeah. Well, little, matlab, 60% I got it.
See, ma, in projects, what we will be doing, one particular object, we will be trying to share it throughout the application. Okay, na?
Yeah.
Because of
But,
which reusability and performance will be increased, memory wastage will be decreased.
yeah.
That is what the major thing what you have to know. That's it. And
Okay.
usage of this proxy is reduced these days because of
Acha.
various other interfaces like CGlib.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
What is joint point and point cut?
Join point is it's an actually uh it's a join point. It's a any point in your program. It's any point in your program, such as like method execution or exception handling. And point cut, it is an expression. It's an expression language that AOP matches at particular join points. At that AOP matches the join point.
Okay. AOP matches the joint point. Okay. Next.
Like it defines at what join point the associated advice should be applied.
Mm. Okay. Fine. Next. What is weaving, ma?
Yeah. This my second. I didn't get weaving.
Okay. Right on. Weaving.
Okay.
Spring AOP framework supports
Hmm.
only limited type of limited type of aspect J point cuts
Okay.
and allows
Okay.
the aspects to apply
Okay.
and allows aspects to apply to beans declared in IOC containers. To beans declared in IOC containers.
Okay.
Next, if you want to use additional point cut types, or to apply your aspects, the objects can be created outside the Spring IOC container. Okay, na? So, what did you understand, ma?
No, I didn't understood. It's a technique by which you can combine aspects.
Yeah, it
I
is a
didn't.
basically it is a concept of combining different set of aspects.
Okay.
That will only a specific type of aspects you can combine over here. Got my point?
Specific type meaning?
Under this, we have got different types of points available.
Okay.
In that, different types of point cuts, it will allow us to pick up only different types of point cuts. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Where that particular point cuts, whichever is available, whichever is allowed, only that we will pick it up.
Okay.
Clear? Next. Okay. Why this weaving will be used, ma?
Why it will be used? No, I don't know.
Whenever if you need to combine multiple aspects, we will make use of this one, ma.
But that is the definition only, right?
Yeah, that's what. Whenever if you need to combine multiple aspects, that means it is just like link up from one object to another object. If you need to link it up and if you need to transfer the data, at the time weaving will help you.
So you
Got my point?
yeah, it's so we use this in your project or in our projects.
Not regularly, ma. Occasionally, these situations comes into picture. Actually, to say AOP itself is occasionally used concept only in loggers and database injections. We
Yeah,
will. That's it.
we don't write point guard expressions, anything.
No, no, no. We won't be writing much. Okay, na?
Okay. So, but interview they ask you.
Yeah, they have just for interview sake you have to learn this. Could you please explain how many places we can see this AOP?
How many places? How many places we can apply, you're saying? Hello?
Yeah.
How many places we can
Yes, ma'am.
apply that word? Yeah, like before, after, around, that what you're asking,
Correct.
before it executes, before a joint. Okay. It's a before, which
For real-time
execute before a.
scenarios, in real-time scenarios, I'm asking where and all we can apply this AOP.
Oh, in logging, that you're asking, in logging transactions. Logging transactions and then error handling. Yeah, logging, then perform, like I studied for logging transaction, error handling, and then performance monitoring.
Okay. What are the limitations of two proxy types, ma'am? CZ-lib proxy and JDK proxy.
Limitations, proxy, though I didn't understand only once again. CG-lib, JDK proxy and CG-lib proxy. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what are the limitations of these proxies. Hello?
Basically, right on, ma'am. There are two different types of proxies available.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm writing.
JDK proxy is also called as dynamic proxies. Okay. API is built on JDK because API is built on the JDK.
Okay.
Clear, right? Next. JDK proxies requirements is just Java interfaces. Okay.
Okay. The requirement Java interface means?
Next. Just a simple interfaces is sufficient, ma. Okay. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
See, ma'am, whenever if you need to create a proxy, we can take the reference of an interface and you can create a proxy.
Oh, okay. Now I got it.
When it comes to CZ-lib proxy, it is not inbuilt proxy. You have to take the help of final classes and method.
Okay.
Right on.
Okay. Okay.
Any doubt so far?
No.
Next. Did you went through the Spring Boot, ma?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Could you please tell me what you know about Spring Boot, ma?
See, actually, what happens is in Spring and Spring MVC, there is a lot of amount of configuration that is needed. So Spring Boot, we can solve this through the combination of auto configuration and starter projects. Like we don't have to manually write everything, and with the help of simple auto configuration and starter project, we can build a. We don't have to write a whole lot of XML. Uh, yeah, means with only with one dependency we can achieve a lot of things using Spring Boot. Like in XML, we have to hello.
Yeah.
Like in XML, you have to write everything regarding bean, and in Hibernate, every configuration you have to write in XML that can be reduced with the help of simple starter projects.
Okay. Anything else?
This is the main reason Spring Boot came into existence.
Okay.
And it also provide that a server and everything in one, like in there's an inbuilt server and everything. You don't have to just you can launch it and your application will run.
Okay. So how can you launch that one, ma? Without server?
No, there's an inbuilt server. We have to give a dependency of that.
How? Which dependency?
Something. No, there's an inbuilt server of Tomcat. If you have to use another, then you have to exclude that dependency, right? Yeah, I think, see, if you're using Spring Boot Starter Web, then there is an inbuilt Tomcat server, right? Is there, right? So,
Correct.
yeah, okay. So this Spring Boot Starter Web. And
Okay.
if you have to use different server, then you have to exclude then you have to exclude Tomcat dependency and include the another server you want.
Okay. Fine. I will agree. Now, next thing is, how can you run this particular Spring Boot program?
There is an one second. There is a I just forgot. One second. I just forgot. There's a like see there's a one sec. There is some plugin, right, which you can no. See, there's one plugin, right, which enable you to package this code as a jar, and then you can run the application.
Maven you will make use.
Plugin, yeah, Spring Boot Maven plugin, yeah.
Yeah, you will make use of Maven and you will generate a WAR file out of it.
Jar
You can
file,
run it.
right? Var, we have to convert it, right?
Sorry, ma?
Jar file it will develop. No, var, do we have to convert it?
No, WAR file you can generate it, ma. In the Spring, that configuration file we will be having, right?
But by default, jar file is there, no?
Why, ma? Whenever you are adding starter web, right?
Ha.
And the starter web, when you are adding, in the just specify form.xml itself, if you just specify that I want WAR file.
Yeah. That's what I am saying. If I don't write var, then what will it will generate using Spring
Yeah,
Boot
by
Maven
default,
plugin?
jar only. Correct.
Jar only, right? Yeah, that only what.
Yes. Okay. Next thing. Here, WAR file, whatever you have generated, no, ma.
Uh,
How will you run that WAR file later?
uh, how will I run this jar? There's a if. you can see if no.
You have to use Tomcat server. Correct now?
That too we have to use only. That is
If not
already.
Tomcat server, how can you run it?
If it is not there.
No, if we are not using Tomcat server, still I want to run that particular war file. How is it possible?
That only was I was thinking, because Tomcat is only there we can run through, we can build the project and then we can copy it for deployment war for it if Tomcat server is there. But if it is not there,
You have got a command called as jar hyphen. No, not jar hyphen. Java hyphen jar command is there. Did you went through that command, ma, by any chance?
I did. I just forgot. I
Yes.
have studied, but I forgot it.
We will be using that particular command, ma.
Yeah.
And we will be running that particular war file. Got my point, right? Yeah. That is next thing. Next, could you please tell me the default annotation what we will be using in our Spring Boot?
This is that enable default annotation, that is enable auto J configuration is there. Shit. I know it. It's enable auto configuration, right? Two type of configuration is there, right? One is
Yes, ma'am.
one second. It's enable auto configuration at the rate.
Enable auto configuration. Actually, that won't be used. One more thing.
One more two is there.
Yeah.
It's
One more.
I know one more is there. Two is there. Two configurations are there. Is it Spring? Something boot related is there, right? One is Spring Boot configuration at the rate Spring Boot configuration.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So if you're using enable auto configuration, we have to use at the rate component scan also, right?
Correct. That's what.
Okay.
Actually, Spring Boot annotation, if you use, it will solve two things in one shot. That's why we prefer that one only. Got my point?
I got your point.
Yeah. Next. Now, in dependencies, whenever we are adding dependencies, do we add a version for that, ma?
No, Spring Boot automatically take care of version.
How?
How means when you are using this, it means you don't have to worry about the version. It automatically when you are using this initializer boy. No, but it automatically. How means it? See, it automatically take care of its version. I don't know how it take care of version, but it did. We don't have to worry about version. We have to check whether it is.
That's how it will care, ma.
I don't know how it take care of it.
That's what this annotation is there, right? This one only will take care.
Oh, Spring Boot. Okay, okay, okay.
Next.
No, but this take care of three things only, right? Auto configuration, components scan, and that registering extra bin. It take
Configuration
care
it
of.
will take care, ma'am.
Okay, fine.
Okay, na?
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay. Next.
So I just wanted to ask in now a project just for in industry projects we don't use this Spring MVC that or that whole lot of configuration in XML and annotation. We just use Spring Boot.
Sorry.
Uh, I just wanted to ask, like in our industrial projects, we don't use nowadays. We don't use this Spring MVC or like XML or some large dependency configuration. We use only this Spring Boot.
No, ma. Spring these days nobody is using. Okay, na?
Okay.
Everybody
So
is going to Spring Boot and microservices only.
Spring Boot and microservices.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's what I am asking. Ki we don't use this Spring MVC core Hibernate configurations. We are moving towards Spring Boot. Spring Boot.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, na?
But they will ask in interview.
Correct. Okay, na?
What is the need if we are not using Wix? They can only ask Spring Boot.
That just for interview sake only, ma. Just to test. That's it. Real time scenarios they are not following. And first thing, one important thing to say over here is, if you go for Spring Boot, who are from Spring background, they can understand Spring Boot very easily. That is what their intention is all about.
If there are so
Correct?
many things to remember, especially when I have not worked, I just get confused in everything.
Hmm. Okay. Can we go for next one now?
Yeah.
Yes. Hmm. Okay. How can you create a RESTful services in Spring Boot now?
This I've studied one thing. RESTful services Spring Boot. Uh, something. This I've studied 1 second. With uh, a simple at the rate with the help of at the rate REST controller and REST mapping. The GAT mapping and everything is there. Hello? At the rate GAT mapping. Hello?
One sec, ma. Hello.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, simple with the help of if you write at the rate rest controller and depending upon your get and post request, we can use at the rate get mapping, post mapping.
Okay. Request mapping is there, Noma?
Yeah, request mapping is also there.
What is the difference between request mapping and get mapping?
Uh, get mapping is for the request. I think get mapping is a subset of request mapping.
Okay.
Request mapping can be used for for post also, anything also, but get mapping is used for getting like retrieving particular list of students.
Are you sure?
Uh, 1 second. Mapping. No. Request mapping is used for mapping the URL values. Like
Okay.
depending upon like if it's a slash hello, then for mapping that and with it can also be used for post and get anything, like you have to write your method request method dot post request method dot get in request mapping.
Okay.
That is request mapping.
Fine. Next.
Is this wrong or
Yeah, correct only, ma.
okay?
When it comes to this particular request mapping, how can you specify? How can you restrict that? I want only specific type of method inputs.
You can write method equal to request method dot post in that inside bracket. And what value specific? Yeah, this only, right? Then you have to specify your URL, which URL you are targeting in the value field, and then method whether it is post or get method equal to request method.
Okay. Next. What is this @bean annotation, ma?
@bean annotation. This is used for if like declaring your class as a bean, right? Sorry. If you write a @bean annotation with configuration or component scan, then particular method is used for registering for creating objects. It's an XML configuration. It's equivalent of XML configuration. If you write bean ID equal to then, and or if you use @bean annotation in your method.
Okay. See, my question is like this. I have created a bean @bean for particular class. Okay, na?
@bean. Okay.
For one particular function.
For function only. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for a function I have mentioned @bean, where
For
that function will be returning the object. Correct, right? Now, where in another location for an object @autovide I have specified. You got my point, right?
Yeah. I got a point.
So, how this particular object will go and sync up to this one?
Hello.
Yeah, how this will go and sync up to that one, ma? Got my question?
I got your question.
Tell me.
See, at the rate bean annotation,
Otherwise, in simplest way, I'll tell you, ma.
yeah. It is
What is,
no. I know. It is it done auto wiring by type, right? So if you have declared the object of that particular class only once at the rate bean, then it will auto map that configuration, right?
hmm?
See, if you have declared at the rate bean annotation, and it's auto wiring in case of this is done with by type, right? So it will automatically configure your object. It will automatically map your object with your properties if you have declared that object only once.
No, it is not clear, ma.
Like see 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 if you are declaring bean, right?
Hmm.
If you are declaring object of that class with the help of at the rate bean annotation, and if you are using auto-wired property on the object, on the you're
Hmm.
using auto annotation on the object. So
Hmm.
in that so I think I see the mapping is done on the basis of by type, right?
Okay.
So if that object is declared only once,
Hmm. Okay. Let's say if
or
he
you
is.
can or you can give the bean name also in bracket. If you are not giving bean name, then configuration is done, then mapping is done by type, right? Just got confused.
If mapping is not happening by type, ma. Okay, by type, right? Anyway, you are mentioning by type. So let's say if we want to match it with the by name, what will you do?
To give um, um, I know this answer, but I just forgot. I don't. I can explain you in the next class. I am just confused. I know this. I have studied this, but I just don't. I forgot how the mapping is done.
Okay. Now, how many ways I can specify request mapping, ma? Which all the areas I can apply, either for function, classes, how I can apply?
Request mapping you can in the method you can apply request mapping.
Hmm.
Uh, do you have to give syntax also or value or method or something? It's only this.
No. Which all the areas we can apply? If you apply it for what do you say, class level, how that works? If you apply it for function level, how that works?
Wait. Request mapping if I applied it. I think if you applied it. This also I know. I don't remember.
Hmm.
One second. I know this. Give me some time.
Okay. What is at the rate rest controller, ma?
This is used for developing Spring Boot REST services. We reuse at the rate REST controller on the top of the class. And it's an annotation we use for developing REST services.
Okay. So could you please tell me which all the areas I can use REST controller?
REST controller you can use on the top of the class, right? On the top of the class. Like it is a combination of @controller plus @response body.
Okay. What is the default response type?
Default response type. It's no, I don't know.
Okay. Let's suppose if I need a specific XML type of response, how can we specify?
That too we can write in, right, with the help of the request mapping only. Or we can use @get mapping, @post mapping.
That's it?
If you are using for get request, you can use @get mapping, @post mapping, and if you want post mapping, then it can return post with the help of the.
Okay. Now I want this type of response only, in the sense how we can specify. I want XML type only. What ma? Response, you have got application.xml. We can specify that, right?
Yeah, I know I've studied. Yeah, okay.
Did it or not?
Yeah, I've studied this, but I just forgot. I don't remember. But because automatically it is JSON, right?
Yeah. Okay. Now, how can you convert a string object into JSON and send a response? Let's say you are returning one string from a RESTful service.
Yeah, your voice just got broke. Yeah.
Okay. Let's say you are returning a string object now. Can you return that one as a
JSON.
JSON response?
It will automatically return right into JSON. Will automatically convert if you are returning if you are writing @REST controller and you are returning like student object is there, and if you are returning return students, then Spring will automatically convert this into JSON.
Okay.
Like, see, first you have to write, you have to use JSON libjar, and then you have to write @REST controller, which will read and convert it into JSON.
Okay. Fine. What else? In Spring Boot, we have got a lot of questions, ma.
In Spring AOP, we don't have to.
Yeah.
I have to ask in String AOP, we don't have to study about the point cut and everything, how it is created, expressions.
No, ma, you don't need to. They
I
won't
don't need to
consider
study.
it on the.
Okay, so then the questions you have asked for Spring AOP, that only I have to go through.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Okay. And you don't use in projects would we use XML configuration of AOP or annotation?
Which one, ma?
For AOP, I'm asking, in project, do we use XML configuration or annotation configuration?
Annotation only, ma.
Okay, we don't specify in our XML.
No, no.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, na?
Mm-hmm.
Next. What is Spring Boot starter, ma?
Spring Boot starter, actually, they are the, you can say, once again, they are the starter project. See, uh, they are like dependency which are, uh, like they are the dependency which are available uh, in our, one second, like they, if you want to use like Spring MVC and JPA, then you can just include Spring Boot Starter JPA, and you don't have to write everything. Or if you are using Spring Boot Starter Web, okay, you don't have to specify everything in your XML. That prefix, internal view resolver, everything we use that in XML. We don't have to specify this. It is like a one. It is like a one-stop shop for your application. It is automatically all the dependencies are automatically injected if you if you use a starter boot dependency in our project.
Yeah.
Like,
Spring Boot starter is just like a auto dependency, ma.
yeah,
Okay, na? Where
yeah,
this will be selecting your jar file, as well as it will be matching the right version, and it will be what you said, downloading that particular version to your local machine.
yeah,
Got no point, right?
yeah.
Okay. Next. Did you went through in Gradle by any chance, ma?
No,
Okay, okay. Only Maven, right? All the time.
yeah. So do we have to speak Gradle also?
Some people they'll ask a Gradle. You can say that I have worked out on Maven.
A1. Okay.
Hmm. And could you please tell me what is Actuator?
Actuator, they are actually uh, they are used for monitoring and tracing your applications. They actually is used for getting the health of your project.
Hmm. Okay.
And okay. And by default, okay. The it's a starter project is Spring Boot Starter Actuator.
Hmm. For what purpose we will be using this? Is what my question.
See, if you want to use a list of bin, then you can just write /actuator/bin, then you can get a list of bins. If you want to, like, if you want to get information from your of your project, then you can write a /info/actuator/info, your version number, your name, everything will come.
Okay. Fine. See here, ma'am. I'll tell you what are how Spring Boot CLI will be used. First thing, what you have to know: Spring Boot initializers. Okay, no?
Yeah, Spring Boot initializer, I know.
Okay. How many ways you can create a Spring Boot project?
With the help of this Spring Boot initializer, you can create a Spring Boot project.
Okay.
Then you can manually write also your dependency. I know. We can also manually write. I know about Spring Boot initializer only. It's the easiest way. Then manually also we can write, yeah, right?
That's what I'm telling you. You just find out how many ways we can create. First thing. Okay,
Is
na?
it two? Okay, fine. Okay.
First thing. And what are the tools preferred for that?
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
And Spring Boot CLI and its commands.
Yeah. I Spring Boot CLI I have studied, but I'll revise it again. And there's Spring
And
Data
its
REST also.
commands we
Spring
want.
Data DB. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Mm. Next, how can we configure endpoints? Let's say right now you are providing get mapping. Let's say slash employees is there. Got my point, right?
Huh.
In the URL, what I will do, I will directly specify slash employees. Okay, no?
Hmm. Hmm.
It generates the output.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
where I want to hide my original mapping. Instead of that, I want to create a proxy mapping on that. How can we create? You got my point, right, Nama?
Got your point. Maybe you can write in what I understood. You can write. You can define it in your application dot properties, and
That's what I'm telling
you,
you. You just find out this one.
you can exclude that your endpoint. Okay.
Okay,
Is
na?
this the right direction?
Yeah, but these
Okay.
things you have to find it out.
Okay.
Okay, na?
Hmm.
Next, what are the other what do you say types of starter objects are there?
Okay.
Dependencies are there. You just find it out so that
Okay.
we can discuss about that. Okay, na?
Okay.
Can you make it tomorrow, ma?
Tomorrow
Or Monday?
actually. Uh, so tomorrow actually I'm also studying for certification, so I thought of giving the certification on Thursday.
Okay,
Mm.
fine, ma. Just check out and tell me. Okay, na?
Okay. I'm just one more thing I wanted to ask, is there any use of certification? Should I give it or not?
No, no, it is not needed, ma.
The certification is not needed.
No, this certification is needed. You just go for this particular certification, but user level certification is not needed.
User level certification, I didn't understand. What is user level?
Basically, you will be trying out some certifications outside.
No, I'm Oracle certification, right?
Oracle certification, you can proceed. Not an issue.
Is it useful for getting
Yeah, that is
calls?
useful. That is useful. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I'm okay. Okay. So I'm Thursday. Sir, can you if did you find any dumps?
I forgot. I'll send it to you. Definitely, I'll send it to you. Okay.
Because the questions are so much tricky. Every questions are. I was just going
Yes.
through online dumps that is free of cost that is available.